I'm the owner of this beautiful home on an 8-acre hilltop in Suffield, Ohio, but not so beautiful anymore because the T-111 siding has failed in many locations, particularly on this south elevation, which gets sunshine and severe weather. And there was a lot of rotting underneath the trim pieces. Finally, it was time to do something. And we'll show you how we transformed this home from the present unappealing appearance into a brand new modern looking home with steel siding from Vesta Quality Edge installed using the Rainscreen technique. In the space of about one calendar month, a professional installer working by himself transformed this pile of materials in the garage into the modern looking, new looking, much higher value home that you see pictured. The primary product was Vesta steel plank from Quality Edge Corporation. This comes in 8-foot steel pieces, and they're made in 6 different patterns to mimic the look of true wood grain. We installed the steel over the existing and partially rotted T-111 siding using the Rainscreen technique, where the new siding is spaced 4/10 of an inch away from the old in order to provide an air gap so that moisture won't be trapped and any moisture that does get in will dry out harmlessly. We'll show you how we did this using 2 special products. First, the SV3 spacing material from Coravent that runs along the bottom of each of the wall surfaces where the moisture can drain out, and Keene Easy Fur, which achieves the 4/10 of an inch spacing on all the wall surfaces. Also in the process, we used about 30 pounds of 3-inch electrogalvanized nails and consumed 3 special saw blades for steel. Obviously, we couldn't put on the new siding until we fixed the rotted bad spots. I did this as the owner/handyman over a period of several years, first trying to chase the bad spots as soon as they appeared, and then finally facing reality that all new siding was going to be the only fix. Each spot required cutting out the rot and replacing these spots with new T-111 material of the same thickness and adding a lot of caulking compound. The appearance of the patches didn't matter, and the house got pretty ugly before the new siding went up. The siding went up thanks to this contractor. Contact information is in the top left-hand corner. These guys did what they said they would do, when they said they would do it. Absolutely great. And I'll provide the contact information again later. The install begins by putting on a layer of house wrap, which passes air but blocks moisture from contacting the old siding. This is inexpensive and quick and easy to do. This is the bottom of a typical wall surface, and it shows the Vesta steel starter strip nailed over top of the black 4/10 of an inch thick Coravent. There's the end of the starter strip as it's applied over the Coravent. And that starter strip just continues, as you'll see in the view to the right, and provides a tray for the subsequent pieces of steel siding to be inserted into. And here's an end-to-end look of a wall with the starter strip at the bottom in place and the first course of siding installed. Here's another look at the detail at the bottom of a wall, again showing the starter strip nailed over the black 4/10 of an inch Coravent. But now you can see the vertical strips of Easy Fur applied vertically over the studs to support horizontal planking. And at the right-hand end at the door opening, there's a vertical J channel, and that J channel is nailed over top of a piece of 4/10 of an inch thick Easy Fur in order to maintain the spacing. And then for alignment, the view shows across the top of the door panel and a finished portion here to the right. In this view, it's obvious that the black vertical Easy Fur doesn't need to be installed with any particular precision. Just slap it up over the studs. It's quick and easy to tack onto the wall. It goes quickly after preparation. Drop each piece in, impact at the right side, and then back off about 1/8 of an inch for expansion and contraction, and then nail loosely, leaving about 1/8 of an inch of the shaft of the nail showing for the same reason. When installing the planks vertically, we started with a piece of drip cap at the bottom because J-channel will catch water. And here you see the detail around the window. The Easy Fur is installed immediately in contact with the window casing, and the J-channel wraps around the window over top of the Easy Fur on all four sides. Installation of the vertical pieces above the drip cap is straightforward, remembering to randomize the planks among the 6 different art patterns that come in each box, and stay loose at the top and the bottom for expansion and contraction, keeping in mind that we hang the panels on the wall rather than nailing them to the wall. Here's an even closer and more detailed view of the treatment around all of these windows. And you can also see the development of the 2-story vertical plank installation, working, of course, from the bottom up, with the horizontal easy fur in place for vertical siding install. And once again, the piece is installed loosely at the top with a bit of slack for expansion and contraction. These vertical pieces are being installed over a sloping bottom, so that bottom can be J-channel nailed over top of Coravent, and the top of these runs is also J-channel. And of course we work from the bottom up so the pieces overlap and water cannot get into the spaces in between the planks. With Vesta, the treatment at the top of a wall where it meets the overhead soffit is a little bit different. It requires 2 J-channels. The first one that goes up above receives the soffit pieces. In this case, that's a piece of light gold colored J-channel that's nailed into the soffit from below, and that piece receives the ends of all of these fully vented pieces of soffit material. And then below is another J-channel, this one dark brown to match the color of the siding. That's nailed to the wall itself, and then that bottom J-channel receives the top of the last course of siding. And what can't be seen in this finished view is that below this J-channel is what Vesta calls a piece of support trim, and the top of each odd height piece of siding is forced in between that support trim and the J-channel to make it rigid and solid. So this area where the wall meets the soffit requires quite a bit of material. 2 J-channels and a piece of what Vesta calls support trim. The front of the house is finished, and now we're returning to this backside, the south elevation, about halfway finished. And completion of this elevation will involve application of all the same techniques that you've already seen. Removing trim from the windows. We then covered the flanges of the windows with zip tape, repaired and replaced patched T-111 as necessary, and continued patiently working ourselves up to the top until completion. Now a few notes and lessons learned from the project. I'm the homeowner. Call me crazy because this was not a turnkey project. That's because steel siding and the Rainscreen technique seemed to be almost completely unknown in my region. And so I struggled for years, starting with an architect and then multiple contractors getting ignored and laughed at and ghosted and not followed up on. Never found a contractor. So I finally gave up and did the design and did the materials takeoff myself in complete frustration. In order to catch the steel price increase, I ordered about half of the materials before the prices went up and then continued to try and find a contractor. And about 8 months later, I ordered the rest of the materials, deciding to do a DIY install. And then the siding ferry arrived, and I got a lucky referral to a contractor who was willing to take on the job. He quoted a labor-only price. That price seemed reasonable to me, and started 4 months later. And as we've already explained, it took him about a calendar month to do the install. I did a lot of the other work, the electrical and plumbing and cable routes through the siding and ancillaries like that. Now, I know we haven't shown you all the details, such as how we did the soffits and the details of the starter trim panel and the support trim, but it was pretty easy. We built the black trim coil on site and did the fascia right here on the job site. And on the next to the last day of the project, another contractor showed up and put up all the gutters and new downspouts in the space of about 4 hours very beautifully. The siding contractor had never done steel, had never done this Rainscreen technique, but he adapted very quickly, was a very, very highly skilled guy, and it worked out. As an aside, thanks to Matt Reisinger of YouTube fame for teaching me and many others about the advantages and the techniques for the Rainscreen installation technique. Lessons learned: we would love to have had a power shear to rip the long, irregular tops of the top course of each run of siding. We could have used a chop saw, but we couldn't find a place to buy the power shear and ended up doing it with hand shears. The total installed cost was right in the neighborhood of about $30 a square foot. Expensive, yeah, but worth every penny because this siding will last a long time, almost zero maintenance, and I'm sleeping nights now not worrying about siding rot anymore. And truth be told, the cost of this project pretty much represents that luxury SUV that I did not buy, I probably will never buy, and I do not need. And I tell you, if we could do this project, you can too.